All right, welcome back to part 2 of this particle system tutorial. In the last part, we kind of went into the detail of like how to set this up, how to get it kind of reacting to audio, all that fun stuff. And in this part, we're going to make it look a bit more pretty, add some more dynamics to it. We've kind of done the hard work now, and this is kind of like making it all pretty. And this is where you can add your own flair as well. Like you can change your own things and do other bits that you might want to do. So let's crack on. Okay, so we're back in Unreal Engine. We've got our particle system. These are unshaded. They're not doing anything crazy. So we're going to go back into our particle system. And let's add a couple of bits to this. We're going to make them like collide into each other, which will give it like a little bit more randomness, which is kind of cool. So we're going to type in collision. So we set up collision, change it to distance fields, and then we don't want to use sprites because we're not using sprites. We want to use mesh, and then I think it's set to bounds by default. So actually we'll leave it on bounds, and that should be fine. We'll be getting some collision. You can't quite tell because there's just loads of particles. If we set the friction actually to like 10, you should be able to see a bit of a change, or maybe not. Yeah, let's leave it at that for now. I'm actually not convinced that that's doing loads, but whoops. What did I change there? 1.25. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, that's not the biggest effect that we're going to have. It's just like a little thing to add on. Actually, maybe... No, that's fine. It's just a dynamic bounds thing. Let's do some shading. Like that is going to have a big effect on what we want. And it'll be a lot of randomness. So yeah, let's set up a shader for our particles. So we are going to go new material. And then we're going to call this particle matte dancer. And then in here, there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to click on here and just search particle. And then use with, here we go, mesh particles, which is what we want. That's what we need to change there. And then our base color, we're actually going to leave them as... I'll leave this black to begin with. So I hold down 1 and put that in. So the base color is going to be black. But we want like some of them to glow. And there's there's a couple of special nodes in here actually that we need for that. Type in particle. We want particle color. And we want, type in particle again. We want dynamic parameter. Yeah, so these are like 2 things that we can call from our system in order to change like various aspects of particles, not just the color and not just the shading, but lots of different stuff as well, actually. So particle color, we're going to drag out, and then we're going to type in multiply. And then we're going to multiply this by parameter 1. And then in here, we click on here, and we're going to change index 1 to glow. And then our default needs to be 0 for that, actually. So we're by default, they're not going to have any glow to them, but we're going to set the color to be, set the color by the thing. So this is actually all we need for this. Actually, no, sorry, one more thing. We want to set up some roughness. We do want them to be like relatively rough. 0.5 is going to be good, I think. So, and we go back to our particle system, mesh renderer, enable material override. There we go. And we add our material, 12 down, find our material. Or in fact, it's probably easier if we drag this one in. Particle matte dancer. There we go. So we can see the thing there. And let me just show you a couple of things. So yeah, so for the glow, I'll show you how that works. If we press plus on that and go dynamic material parameters, now this is the glow, like this will affect it. If I change this like 10, like they're all going to glow. All right, so we've got them glowing, but they're all glowing. We don't want that. We want some randomness in there. So we're going to go curve, float from curve, and we're going to control this a bit. We're going to go random range float because we don't want it to be over time. And that's right, 0 to 1, that's fine. In fact, let's invert this and then make that 1 there. So we're getting like a random 0 to 1 on the glow value, which is fine. But in like reality, like in life, whatever, like you don't get this kind of even randomness. So to make it feel more natural, we're going to add a couple of bits. So we're going to add a little point there. We're going to bring this down to 0. probably bring this down, well, like I said, 0.95 maybe. And you can see like only some of them are lit up now. And if we bump up this value to like 20, there you go, they're like much brighter now. So yeah, only some of them are lit up and some of them are much brighter, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to do a similar thing actually on the scale of the particle as well when we set them up, because that is just going to look better. So instead of random uniform, we're going to go mesh scale mode uniform, and then we're going to go from curve. And then again, we're going to bring this down. They're going to look massive because they're yeah, here we go. Random range float. Yeah, let's invert this again. Okay, 0, 0, 1, 1. Like we don't want them to be that maximum size, so 0.1 is the sort of maximum size we wanted them to be. But yeah, we can do a similar thing here. We can add another keyframe here, and actually we do want them to be like 0.01 to be like the minimum size. We'll do that there, and we'll do this one here as well, 0.01, and put this at like 0.95 again. So then, yeah, we're getting this like distribution of them. We might want to bump this up actually slightly, so maybe 0.05. So yeah, we get more of a distribution. So yeah, that's that. Maybe like let's go 0.99 on that, and then let's bump this one up to 0.2. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we get this like much kind of more like even, not even, it's like very random, more like natural distribution of things. And then when we like, let's just play the music so we get some stuff going. I'll turn off music that's still running, and then when we hit play, there we go. Yeah, they just look a bit more random. What is that circled in there? I don't know. I think that was our player start actually. That's because the camera was there. Yeah, they just look a lot more there. They're not really glowing, and the reason for that is that we haven't set that up very well. So this is set up right. Like it was, the problem is our post-processing volume and skylight actually. So in a post-processing volume, instead of metering mode manual, we want that to be auto exposure basic, but then we need to set these to 0. I think by default they're sort of 0 and whatever. Basically set those to 0. Yeah, here we go. They're -10 and 20, which isn't what we want. We want 0 and 0. It's going to be really bright. So in our skylight, we basically just need to turn down the intensity scale. And it's kind of like, you've got to find somewhere in the middle. I think it's probably around 20, no 10, no 0.5, 0.8. 1, 2, yeah, let's go with 2. And then yeah, we get much more variation of our sort of glowing bits. And here we can have a bit more control actually. So if we go back into here, and on this, let's just move this over. Instead of 0.095, let's go 0.999, and then we'll just get a couple of glowing ones, which is actually what we want. Yeah, so there's like a few like glowing ones in there, and that's perfect for what we want to begin with. But we could do it in color, and that's where we put this this color node in. So this particle color is controlled within the particle system itself. In our initialized particle, we have a color, and currently we're being set to white, but we can go random range linear color, and then maybe we want to go like, let's do a sort of pinky color and like a bluey color, and we'll get somewhere random in between those, which is kind of cool. So yeah, let's hit play again, see what we get. Yeah, so some of them are this like blue color, and some of them are pink. And another thing we did in the other one was like make them all flash as well. So let's go that. Let's make another parameter. Let's go float, and let's call this flash. And yeah, we want this to be 0 by default. But what we can do is we can add this on to our dynamic material parameter here. So at the moment, our minimum is 0, but we can control that minimum with our sort of flash amount. So let's just drag that on and see what happens if we go onto our minimum, go there, flash. and it will be the same. But if we go back into our particle dancer thing and let's make like another custom event and call this flash and make this call in editor as well. And then let's add another timeline, play from start. And then let's connect this up to our Niagara one as well and call this flash. And then go update to that. And then let's make a quick, actually that's, it's gonna be similar to what we want. I might just make this like slightly longer so it has a bit more of a tail. Let's put this to 1. Yeah, so we're going like flash on and off, and we probably want to like add on a bit of a curve to that. Let's just see what it looks like. Go back to our event graph. Yeah, flash, and then we lerp. And then we're going to go from, it wants to be 0 and then 10 because it's basically going to be on to begin with. So yeah, that's right. And then let's play in the editor and see what happens when we press flash. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's not quite right, but we're close. We just need to update this. So it probably wants to be more like this. And I imagine it needs to like go down a bit like that. That'll probably look right. Flash, boom. Yeah, it kind of looks cool. You can mess around with like the other bit to it. And what we'll do is we'll hook this up to the snare sound in here. So let's go here. And then again, like we did with the bass drum, we need to find out what our snare one is. So I'm just pausing that. I'm going to find my snare. Click that, go back to here. 38 is our snare, that's good. So we can do another one of these. And we can go 38. Do another branch here. And then if this is false, basically, we'll just pull it into here and be like, this one can trigger it if it's a snare. So let's just play it and hear it. There you go. So there you go. You get a kind of dynamic particle system. Let's get the other bits of tune on the go. So there we go, we have it. That is how to make a dynamic particle system. We got there in the end. You can do a lot of other stuff with this. I mean, you can change all the colors, like the particle system itself, all the dynamics, the way the particles move. I've shown you how to set up custom variables as well, and like how to control those. So that's like a massive thing that you can do to kind of like change how things work. Like maybe you could have particle systems interacting with each other, or you could use like wind and all other effects. You can move the camera, you could animate other elements or have other elements like crashing into it and stuff. There's like a lot you can do with this stuff, and maybe we'll explore more in the future. And if there's anything you want to do and you want to see, then please let us know in the comments. I'd be really keen to explore like suggestions and stuff. So yeah, hopefully you found that interesting. I hope you found that useful, and we'll see you in the next one.